Here we go. We're going to update Apple in pre-market at 6:03 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Date 10/2 of 2012. The gap was as high as $664. It was sold down yesterday. There was a short that was done up toward the highs and it had a $20 intraday reversal. There was a live trades and live analysis done yesterday after the close. And this gap right here is that we are sitting at a major support level on top of the 10-week moving average on a weekly chart. And that is 661.22. And that this gap is slightly above this blue line, which is reference to the 10-week simple moving average MMT. What is important to know that when the short sellers have been shorting it, and we were short up there at 705, and we have shorted it all the way down to these support levels on this weekly chart, because this is how the name trades, and it's going into earnings season next week on October 15th. The daily 50-day simple moving average happens to be right around $650 there. So when selling happens, if we go through the blue line, that's called a 10-week moving average, and when the price starts to fall through there, selling can escalate. But then again, if I tell you right over here when Apple was falling through its 10-week and its 20-week, you can see how fast it recovered to make all-time highs, and that this 10-week moving average has accelerated to the upside, which means that the pullbacks at those lower support levels will be great trades as far as getting lower entry levels to go long off of the bottom. We've already got the short so far, and this right here, the bid is 661.42. It's got a small gap in pre-market, and it's dropped about $3 of that gap. And what we're going to focus on the opening bell is this blue line. I will say it again to my MMTs, 661.22, and this is live in pre-market, 24 minutes to the opening bell on 10/2. And we'll make it clear. We'll make it clear once again to the MMTs as far as looking at this particular chart, which is referred to as a daily, and that the 40-day moving average is being breached. You can see that this lower support level here is where the bigger money is going to make decisions. The 50-day simple moving average, which is rising, this will be the lower end of the support level within the actual price volatility structure of the intraday movement and the mechanics that go on. And we will look at what the resistance level will be on this daily chart. So once again, I'm going to conclude the weekly and the bid and the ask ranges. That weekly, the 10-week, a sell below the 10-week can escalate more selling down to that 50-day simple moving average. Okay, and this weekly bar right here where the pointer is in the lower end of this weekly one, you can see that that's going to be roughly in the price range here. And I'm just going to show this part. That's going to be, right around that 650 area, 649.89. Okay, and this, and I'm going to show my MMT that this bar right here, the top of this bar right there where I drew the X, and the lower end of this weekly bar, so the low end of the weekly bar right here is this lower support level, and it's also the top of that high weekly breakout bar. And that will also equate into this simple 50-day moving average, where when we go up to resistance levels, I'm going to draw a trend line here on this chart so that you can trade the opening bell. And once again, if we have to take it short down, we will. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw a trend line, and I'm going to put it right there. And that's 667. and that's the bottom of this daily bar. I'm going to draw an X on it for my MMT. And remember, this is for people on the live opening bell. So when we come up and we hit the lower end of this area, that's going to be the resistance area right here where you have this gap on this daily. Now, having said all of that, price volatility is in our favor because in the shorter time frame at those lower support levels is where the bigger money will be made intraday in the options and buying the equity intraday. I have concluded the pre-market daily and weekly chart before this opening bell and the gap is diminishing and it's at the 10-week moving average and the time is 6:09 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. And the short side of this name has taken the people out. When we got to my price target of $705, and there's many of live entries and exits in the trade management scenario on stockmarketfunding.com. I would get there, I would deal with the realities of the 10-week moving average and the 50-day simple moving average and how that short was taken. And if you don't want to believe it, I mean, these contracts paid big yesterday. Here's a 670 put. Went from $5.20 to $16.90. That's big money on options. And if you want to learn how to trade options, I'd get with it right now. So basically, we're going to see if this name within the price volatility structure, we know that 667 is the upper end of that resistance. And we also know that right above that 650 or right down in that area is going to be that lower end of that support level on this opening bell. And if you're watching the video 2 or 3 days later, well, hell, this trade's going down right now. Here and now.